Hey, but I make it all up in the bed. Yeah, all fights. He just making bands in the east, making bands in the west. And I'm just saying front when I look at you. Hey, keep it 100, 100. Oh, this ain't that. Uh-oh. Hold on. Mm-hmm. Pride come before the fall. Pride come before the fall. I was just telling y'all. They said the last government shutdown lasted for 35 days and it cost them over 11 something billion dollars for the holler. So, mm, mm, mm. That is a mug shame. Not interested. Think of somebody they just pop up on the feed. What the fuck? So, one day ago, he just now seen it. That is over a year ago that video came out. Do not do that, do that on no. Hey. He ain't playing. Boy, look. Yesterday, it felt like something had bit my wrist. Like it was close to my wrist, like right under my wrist with my. What kind of spell work is this? But now it's healing up just like a bruise would. From the inside going towards out, it's clearing up. Like my skin is turning back regular, and it's just within 24 hours that this just happened. Today is the 30th of September. The day I always remember was that was the day my dad died. I know motherfuckers is. What did I say? I said I know they over here. They over here twitching and glitching and like, oh my God, she was right. I don't care you're right. I just care about people. You know what I mean? Being aware of what's going on around them. Protecting your children, healing yourself, helping your children heal, and have better outcomes for your generational lineage. That's what I care about, right? I don't care about being right. Call me a false prophet, that's fine. But you can't hate on something that's closest to God, like for real. You just can't. I mean, you can, but I mean, at the end of the day, I don't care. I do not care. Yeah, get the fuck out of here, boy. Dumbass. Oh my God. You can't delete. Don't care about what you say. Your opinion doesn't matter. To me, anyways. But that's okay. It's not about just being a prophet. It's about, and you know what? Mantle. Where's that? Where's the first one? Okay, we're going to list it. It's 2 minutes and 11 seconds long. Okay, so it's not very long at all.
What is a mantle in the Bible? Have you ever wondered what a mantle means in the Bible? Let's dive into this fascinating topic.
Thank you guys for the like, share, subscribe.
In biblical times, a mantle was a way to keep warm and protected from the elements. One of the most significant aspects of the mantle is its symbolic meaning, especially when it comes to prophets. Prophets like Elijah and Elisha wore mantles as a sign of their calling from God. For instance, Elijah's mantle was a symbol of his prophetic authority and the power bestowed upon him by God. The story of Elijah and Elisha is particularly noteworthy. When Elijah was taken up to heaven, his mantle fell to the ground and Elisha picked it up. This act symbolized the transfer of prophetic authority from Elijah to Elisha.
Thank you.
Elisha then used the mantle to part the waters of the Jordan River, just like Elijah had, showing that the spirit of Elijah now rested on Elisha. This transfer of the mantle represents more than just a change in leadership. It signifies the continuation of God's work through chosen servants. It's a powerful symbol.
God's work through chosen servants. This is what mantle means. Mantle, a garment, a covering. So when you get this covering, when you get this garment, when you get this truth, and it's getting exposed, a lot of people don't know how to take it because of the beliefs that they have, and that's fine. Eventually, maybe they'll grow into it, they'll learn about it, they'll dive a little deeper, they'll get a little nosy, and find out the truth for themselves. And that's what it's all about. Thank you, honey. I appreciate you, 365. And that's what it's all about. It's about free will. We don't do this for recognition. We don't do this for, getting praise. We don't do it for that. I don't even get paid for it. I don't care about getting paid for it. You know what I mean? I probably won't get paid for this at all. But at the end of the day, I still show up because that's what I was told to do. It has nothing to do with anybody else. The exposure of the truth is what matters the most. Thank you guys for the likes. Thank you for the likes, shares, and subscribes. What matters is the truth. Now, here it is. We're going to do a government shutdown. Why? Italy, they over there tearing stuff up. Because it is a necessary change for us to get into a new energy. The old energy is dying. It's passing away. It is no longer existing. It no longer is a vibrational match with the uprising of the vibration. And that's like how people fall out of your life because they were seasonal. Everything is really seasonal. It has some type of season to it, and it comes to an end. Vibrations never end, they only transmutate. Okay? But what do you want the energy to transmutate into? Into better healing, better exposure, and truths to be told to everyone. Now, if they don't know exactly on the spiritual recognition how this resonates with them, they are still acting in the physical, and that's what matters. It doesn't matter about your skin tone, your skin color, where you came from, where you're going, respectively. Let's listen to the rest.
Of the passing of spiritual authority and responsibility from one person to another. In other parts of the Bible, mantles are also associated with righteousness and salvation. For example, in Isaiah, the Messiah is described as wearing a mantle of righteousness, symbolizing justice and redemption. The mantle is also linked to the Holy Spirit. When Elisha took up Elijah's mantle, it was similar to how Jesus received the Holy Spirit at his baptism. This connection highlights the mantle as a symbol of the anointing of the Holy Spirit, which empowers God's people to do his work. So, in summary, a mantle in the Bible is not just a piece of clothing. It's a...
Oh, crap. My bad. A fat finger.
It's a symbol of authority, responsibility, and the transfer of spiritual power, especially in the context of prophetic succession and divine calling.
And divine calling. Ooh.
When I first started...
Okay, let's go back. A divine calling. And we're going to go a little bit deeper in the detail. And it's very short. It's 25 seconds. It's 25 seconds? Yeah, it's 25 seconds.
Mantle is a noun that refers to a layer or covering, which is the thick layer between the Earth's crust and core. Additionally, mantle can be used metaphorically to refer to a role or responsibility that someone assumes or takes on.
So that goes again with which God do you serve? Do you serve a just God? Do you serve a wrathful God? Which one? Until you get into the right energy, and even still, he will let the devil test you. Seriously? No control over the phone, with no message. Phone just going off.
Amber Alert. Child abduction from Grapevine, Texas. Suspect vehicle is a white Ford F-150 pickup. Missing child. Kaylin Rickards, 13-year-old black female, last seen wearing a black hoodie with a black tank top underneath, black sweatpants, and pink Crocs. If seen, call 911.
No message whatsoever. The motherfucker just started talking. That's insane. Fucking insane. That's never happened to my phone before. But anyways. Mama T goes into some very interesting information. Let me see. I'm going to try to keep this short because my phone has been tripping. Yep. Oh, man. So, I swear to God, it's by no coincidence that we just went over those videos from the last live and all the previous ones before this and the recorded videos and posted videos at all. It is not by chance. Everything is timeless. Take what applies and let the rest go that does not apply. Now we're going to see in this change that's coming up. Why is it that in other places and Italy, Europe, and all this, their healthcare is way affordable. They can pretty much live comfortably for the most part. But here in America, they don't want people to have free healthcare. And it's not like the finances. This is the illusion, right? The illusion is that, oh, well, taxpayer pays for these people's welfare, Section 8, and healthcare. That's a fucking lie. All that shit goes to the fucking what you call it? It goes to NASA. It goes to NASA, and all this other bullshit funding and all the other diabolical plans that these people have that they want to fund. That's where it goes to. They just have us living on a fucking illusion. They have a faulty foundation, a false mantle. I don't think it's by coincidence I came across this video too. I swear to you. Hold on. That's the two videos we just watched. Those two. Those are two videos we just watched today. I came across those today. Y'all know I saved them in my playlist and go later just so I can have a guide on what to go over and what to talk about, what to discuss, what's most important right now, past, present, and future. So it's really up to us to, to the best of our abilities. We're not perfect, but we will strive for perfection in our daily and nightly, all the time. Always strive for better so that, you don't feel guilt nor shame, and those are temporary feelings. So don't make permanent decisions off of those temporary feelings either. Okay? Just be mindful of your environment in which, the hostilities and the ebb and flows, the calmness and the peace, so that we can all have that within ourselves and in our environment at some point in time, and when it's necessary. So other than that, mantle, spelled Mantel, is a very good definition that came up today. I just found it really funny, as due to the current circumstances that even came up. But regardless of the fact, things are going to change, and it is for the better. But things have to fall apart in order to, build a firmer foundation and a stable foundation for the higher vibration in which this world is, transitioning into, or it's just going to completely collapse. And the only thing that needs to completely collapse is the old paradigm that no longer resonates with the concurrent elements. It's not fair for everyone. And ultimately, what God wants is for everybody to have a peace within themselves, stability, fairness, encouragement. That should be something that is a normal, not complete chaos. People out here living in chaos and, having issues because, thank you, um, having issues because their their flesh is trying to adapt to their current environment because it's so chaotic. Promote peace and healing in all its entirety all the time, so that people can search for healing, so people can get a chance to get out of the toxicity. And it's not easy. This is something that has to be done on their own willingness, but it's kind of hard given the environment that is concurrent today, that no longer resonates with the higher vibration that God has wanted all of us to move into and not be susceptible to demons, you know, in a lower vibration. On the highest vibration, this is what we need to be able to adapt to in coexisting, and unfortunately sometimes things have to get worse before they get better. But this is the goal. It's always been the goal. But, false contracts and, people put in positions and violating the resources in order to get into power is the issue. So all the people that they were doing black magic, trust and belief by the masses. So what we see now physically in current day is that falling apart, like the mass falling off. It's shattering when it's hit the floor already. And it's just like they're trying to put their face together and hold their face together, and it's just not working, and everybody's just seeing what's going on naturally and innately. And that's what it's about. It's exposing, people for who they are, and hopefully they'll take the healing method. And at this point, they're being forced to, because obviously, if there's going to be a government shutdown, that's God put the foot down, and I made that statement last week, if I'm not mistaken, or the week before. Time invades me right now, so I was like, "Oh, the foot is down." Y'all remember Inside Out? Yeah, the foot is down. By hook or by crook, this shit, this shit is going to change. Period. And trust me, if y'all offended by any cussing or anything like that, just that's indoctrination. You need to be worried about them curses that them people been putting on you for you to fall for this bullshit illusion for this long anyway, or at some point in time. It's a reflective period as to, okay, where were my moral standards? What made me side with this energy? What within me thought this was justifiable? When obviously it's not. And it's causing a whole government shutdown to where, things are massively on a big scale happening. It just makes sense. But, like I said, people need to have the time to reflect and make that time for themselves, first and foremost, throughout the day. It's a part of self love, self care, and awareness and healing. And a lot of people just, they just function by whim, honestly. They're like, oh, well, I'm just gonna work till I die. Shit. That's not supposed to be that's not really your destiny. And God has been trying to shake the hell out of people to get them to understand that that's not a healthy way of living, and it shouldn't be a competition with anyone outside of yourself in order to obtain that. That is a inside and internal validating thing. The illusion of this whole thing internationally has been, oh, well, we need to be in competition with each other. Hell no. That's not it. That's why we see these events going on now. It's being confirmed from the spiritual to the physical. It was inevitable. Because when you fight back with peace, thank you for the like, shares, and subscribes. When you fight back with peace, as opposed to what these people have done with black magic, trickery, word magic, lies, manipulation with money or coercion, they're pulling on lower forces out of their lower chakras. And justifiably in their head, that's right, because that's what they want. And they believe that with their heart. There's people out here that is that dark, that believe competition with anyone else. They believe that's not normal for them. So much for so that they grasp and they hold on to that toxicity. And like I said, I see this shit on a regular basis, and I just take a deep breath for one, for two, think about something to say positively in the best way I can, because that is old mind, slave mind mentality, 101. That's how people got enslaved in the first place, was because of jealousy, was because of hatred, and all the other things that doesn't exist within the people that got enslaved. And I can tell you this first and foremost because one of the people that I'm talking about right now is the lady used to pick cotton, became a police officer, X, Y, and Z, whatever, right? But you could tell in religious beliefs, moral beliefs, it leans still and not with her true heart's alignment. You can say one thing and do a complete opposite, and then wonder why your life is shit. So when you ask for help and somebody who steps into your life and you get that help, you get that word, you get that guidance, don't take it for granted. Because eventually, you might reflect on it, you might not. But you'll remember. You remember those words that were said that were most kind. You remember the hurtful ones too. But you remember those hurtful ones as a guide to not go back. Don't go back to toxicity. Don't go back to lower vibrational energy. Don't go back to that same circle. Because it's the same circle with different faces. Make them respect your person, your authority, your soul, your vibration. No matter what your age, no matter what your size is, it is a thing. And I just believe that some people, I say jealousy don't have a face. They just are jealous and or hateful, if not both, and confused as to why I have little confidence and won't let nobody fucking tell me outside of what I've already experienced in my life to know for facts what does not work for me. If it didn't work within the 20 to 30 years of my life, there's no way in hell I'm not going back to that. Oh, let me try it again. Hell no. Trying again just is to be a guide and a peaceful representation in that space has caused harm to me attached to those places and those spaces and what caused enslavement in the first place. You are to be seen. Reality is true natural spirituality, not bias. A true guide is not right wing. It's the whole bird in its natural developed element of nature and where it's at and where it chooses to go. Naturally, that is a natural, whole, peaceful thing. In that, being in peace in that, and still being able to hold peacefully and respectfully how people look at me. Oh, she got gems and crystals and stuff like that, and the sage and da, da, da. She don't know what she talking about. Okay, that's fine. I respect that. But the disrespect comes over into the conversion. I'm just telling my version of my experience. And I know, I think, I know when that aspect of respect comes through religion and it's not such a bias, oh, you either left or you right or you this or manifesto something in your life. Honey, I've been on this journey all my life. And for the past 8 years, my manifestation is come true today, even though I was not aware of it. But when I came into the awareness, into the vibrational match of how to heal it and break generational curses and expose the truth of corruptness that we are all being exposed to, our children, in public places and spaces, and even in our home, unfortunately, we're being violated. These low vibrational, electromagnetic pulses could be set at a vibrational match to help improve your health instead of helping it decline. So instead of going to, oh, well, conspiracy theory and that person's crazy, shun them because they don't believe in a religion. Well, it's all a spiritual space. What space are you currently existing in? And when you realize the basics of it, and you come into and you manifest and you fight against the principalities, the people, places, and things which resonate or do not, when they oppose you, and you can recognize those and you keep them and check them where they need to be checked at, your life becomes in a vibrational match in what you need it to be. I don't need nobody to put no hands on me. When I have people put their hands on me, you know what I mean? Uh, go to church, have people put your no, hell no. It didn't work. Just pray about it. Just pray about it. No, there's some work that needs to be done. Now I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna figure it out. And thank God I figured it out. I needed to heal myself. I needed to pray for myself. I needed to break generational curses. I need to realize and recognize the generational curses that were being brought to me and given to me for my next generational lineage to go by in my next lifetime to go by. No, no, thank you. I definitely want to be in a vibrational match of a better high vibrational match of existing, not only just for myself, for my children, and for other people that exist in this universe, not just Earth, in this universe. It was more than, uh, oh, I just want recognition. No, hell no. Nobody deserves to suffer. But it starts with me. If I'm going to stay in suffering with other people that are suffering and not promote healing and be an example of, how will people ever know that it exists and how transformation can happen and how you can make it happen within your life and what the energies are actually connected to in healing waters, the healing waters, the healing energy, the divine feminine energy? It's all going to go back to one because the other vibrations are too disruptive, they're too unstable, they're too unchanging. And it's the unchanging that must go. It's like get down with the sickness type, the one. Oh, they got to go on that island, and that's where God's going to send them to purgatory. We're not going to have to worry about that. They're probably already there on the soul level. That's why their bodies are being ran the way that they are. Just have to learn what works, what hasn't worked for you, and what you're comfortable with, and get out of that comfortability. And when you can work and you can balance, you can pull things into existence that betters your life, as opposed to the, oh, let me give it, let me ask, let me beg, can you please, can you? Well, who do I give this to? Because that's the kind of state I was in. I'm just telling y'all the truth. I was like, what do I do with this? God, what do I do with my gifts? What do I do with my power? And what do I do with this newfound information that I'm now aware of? This is huge. I thought it was bigger than me. I thought, because that's what I was taught, that it's bigger than you. It's not. With these two eyes that we have, it appears to be bigger. But your spirit is 10 infinite times bigger than what exists and has been existing for hundreds of years. The illusion is dissipating, reflect, and change themselves. The reason why you see the lashing out, the violence, is because it's a low vibration. That anger, that wrath, that rage for an act of whatever type of violence may have occurred. If you can take that, begun your journey, you just taken another step forward towards changing the generational lineage. And that's what I look at every day. When I say I face things that connive, and I'm just like, I'm looking at this shit as the circus that it is. I'm like, the projections of me having mental instability is the kicker for me, and I'm looking at the complete total package of mental instability, the gaslighting, the lies, the no accountability, and I'm like, okay, well, I can take accountability. Can you take accountability on your part? And it gets to the point where, like I said, you become so aware. You like, fuck taking accountability for other people. I want them to be held accountable for their own actions, not with actions, but with your simple actions and how you reflect and how you react to make them reflect. My silence is fucking deadly. It is fucking deadly. And, you know, I give, you give people, the inch and the mile that they want to think they're running on something. Run on the pavement till it falls out, falls off, whatever, till you hit the edge of the earth. I don't care. You have to take that and you have to run with that. You got to keep it because I'm not keeping it over here. But it'd be nice if you took care of your lane. And you have to get to that level of confidence. You have to get to that level of being an example of taking the higher road. That shit can be annoying, but it's so much beneficial when you can sit back in peace and look at it like, ooh, my situation would be so much worse if I would have made a wrong decision or the worst decision possible to capitalize on my position at this moment to be worse. That's why I find it wild and crazy that people are jealous of somebody else's struggle. It's like, do people really want my struggle? Do they really? Because they're not even taking accountability where they're at right now. They don't understand what that takes. They're not understanding on the mental and the soul level. The responsibilities are way bigger than my physical vessel. And it's like, when are you going to get it? I need you to reflect on that. Are you really wanting guidance? Are you really wanting help? And at this point, this shit is free. There are so many people out here charging for this information that is not even funny. And that's fine. But there's a ridiculous amount of people that charge for this information. 1,000, 2. At the end of the day, I hope you're not leading them down the wrong path. And 9 times out of 10, somebody that is charging that much, leading them down the wrong path. I have sit back and I have observed and I've seen the most craziest of the crazy. Okay, well, all you gotta do is really reflect and change your diet. The reason why I say change your diet, that you will get from these things and taking and ingesting superfoods within all balance for what you can take it, the mental clarity and the emotional balance that comes with that, you're then able to better filter those emotional impulses. And mind you, emotional impulses, but they have this machinery that is constantly pulling and messing up your vibrational energy. I found it interesting, and I'm about to pull up this video. I found it interesting that this lady was, she deaf? Yeah, she was deaf. She couldn't hear. I find it very interesting that this lady could not hear, but I want y'all to know how much a vibrational anything around you can be very disruptive to your circadian rhythm, to your normal everyday life, and how they can be thrown with a little bit of interaction with some. The lady, she was deaf, and she couldn't hear. She was sleeping, and she woke up about every night between 2 and 5 a.m. Is this it? Yeah, this is it. Hold on.
Were silent, but later found out they weren't. I'm deaf and lived my whole life thinking my apartment was this peaceful, quiet space. Boy, was I wrong. I'm 24 and got my own place about 2 years ago. Small one bedroom, nothing fancy, but it was mine. I loved how calm everything felt. My cat Pepper and I had our routines down. I'd make tea every morning, watch Netflix with subtitles, do my thing. But here's the weird part. I could never sleep through the night, like ever. I'd fall asleep fine around 11, then wake up at 2 a.m. sweating and anxious. Then again at 4, sometimes 5:30. Every single night for months. I'd check my phone, look around the room, everything seemed normal. But my heart would be racing like I'd just run a marathon. My doctor said it was probably anxiety, prescribed me some sleep aids that didn't do anything. My therapist thought maybe I had some deep trauma messing with my sleep. We spent weeks talking about my past, but nothing clicked. It didn't feel like nightmares or panic attacks. It felt like something was physically wrong with my space. My cousin Zoe came to visit last month. She's hearing and was going to crash on my couch for the weekend. She works at this marketing firm downtown and needed a place to stay while her apartment got fumigated. We'd been texting about it for weeks. So she shows up Friday night around 8 with her overnight bag and some Chinese takeout. We're eating and catching up, talking about her job drama and my new position at the graphic design company. Everything's normal. Then around 10, she starts looking around my apartment weird. Mia, how do you sleep here? She asks, making this disgusted face. I'm confused. I sign back asking what she means. My apartment's clean. I vacuum twice a week, change my sheets every Sunday. She walks into my kitchen and points at my fridge. That thing is dying a slow, painful death. I stare at her like she's crazy. My fridge works fine. Keeps my food cold. Ice maker works. No weird smells. It's making this horrible grinding noise, she explains, like a garbage disposal trying to eat a fork. How have you not noticed this? I tell her I can't hear anything, obviously. She nods but keeps looking confused. But it's not just noise, she says. I can feel it vibrating through the floor. It gets really loud every few hours, then stops. The whole kitchen shakes. That night, Zoe couldn't sleep either. She kept getting up and walking around. Around 2 a.m., she shook me awake and pointed at the fridge again. Even from my bedroom, I could see it shaking slightly. She unplugged it, and we went back to bed. I slept through the entire night. First time in literally 8 months. Next morning, Zoe and I did some research. Turns out when fridge compressors start failing, they make these crazy high-frequency sounds, like 80 decibel screeching noises that spike every few hours when the motor tries to kick in. Even though I can't hear it, the vibrations were traveling through my cheap apartment floors and walls, messing with my sleep cycle. My body was reacting to these random vibration bursts all night long. No wonder I kept waking up feeling like something was wrong. I called my landlord that Monday. He said 3 other tenants had complained about noise from my unit over the past few months. They thought I was running a washing machine at weird hours. Turns out it was my dying fridge the whole time. Got a new fridge delivered Thursday. That night I slept from 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. straight. Didn't wake up once. Pepper seemed more relaxed too. She'd been acting jumpy lately and I thought she was just getting old. Now I sleep like a normal person again. My anxiety's gone. I actually wake up feeling rested instead of exhausted. To all deaf people, what are some things you thought were silent but later found out they weren't? I'm deaf and lived my whole life thinking my apartment.
So that was the whole of the gist. How important is our environment? And if you guys look it up, walking into a store, simply walking into a store, toxicity from the jump, the vibrational things that come just from the refrigerated units there are disrupting to our circadian rhythm, your natural rhythm and vibration to your body. And that's done on purpose. They can make these things so way more efficient, but we are literally fighting every day through our our regular was supposed to be experiences. Excuse me. Through our regular experiences that we fighting things that we don't even know we're fighting. She was deaf and could feel that the energy was off. She sleep pattern. So how important is it to dietary change to be more aware and able to not only just validate your feelings and decipher and sift through and be able to reflect in a rational way your emotions, your experiences, your past, and your present experiences to get through to your better future. It's very important. We're fighting against a system that wants us to stay stagnant on purpose. They know they are aware. They're just like a horrible landlord knows that something needs to be fixed and they got the money to fix about it. If everybody just worked and did what they were did with it's just normal life. It's normal life. When you put such a value over your own life to something that is keeping you at a vibrational match as a slave is where the issue comes. But they don't want you to think like that. They don't want you to have that experience. They want you to believe that everybody must be a slave. You got to work for this shit. But no, think about it. If money didn't exist and everybody was to still function and work and drive and do everything that they did and the gas or food, you know, nobody would lack. That's how your body is right now. It's in lack because you're not giving it because they know that you are a slave to it. This will happen slowly but surely. It's like you really have to think about it. Really have to think about it. What if things would go just fine? Matter of fact, a lot of violence would stop. A lot of, people driving exhausted just to survive and, causing wrecks, not intentionally, would stop. Kidnapping would stop. Well, not necessarily stop, that would slow down. Because you got to think about the survival mode that these people actual help that can help them out of that bullshit craving of a child and or the exchange of a child for funds. This would be a way better world. But like Monsters Inc., slowly but surely people are reflecting like, this is a bullshit sham that we are supporting and we are existing in. They are scaring the living shit out of their experiments. While you are a different standard when you do research on the Rothschilds. Oh yeah, that's another reason why they're going batshit over there in Italy because there's a Rothschild over there, a female that is over there just doing, of course, the unthinkable. I guess she keeps saying that she's going to negotiate and make things right, and then, well, those people are tired of it, and they're going to hold these people accountable for what they're doing. The big change comes in when you change your heart and how you perceive life to be itself. For women, children, men, the same. is a horrible thing to say. Stevie Knight, I can't utterly say that is some disgusting. Whoever thinks like this, oh well, child, there's so many resources for children out here and for food. For no, there's not. There's not. And I can say especially not in the southern states, which is wild as fuck to me. I've never seen such poverty that people, yes, a massa just to get $1 to steal, to take that chance just so they can survive. And at that, children, an adult has to have 2 forms of identification just to get food from a food bank. That is a very idiotic thing to say. Oh, you talking about flipping a fucking table? Like, there's just something. I look for awareness and I look for consciousness and I look and it's kind of ridiculous, you know. A lot of people don't understand the environment in which they exist in and how it is set up and monopolized for people's downfall. And of course, that comes to the slave mind mentality. Oh, well, they need to work harder. Oh, they got food banks. Let the children, yeah, they can go to the food bank and get food. What? They can get bills paid too? You probably don't understand that because you probably didn't have a parent. I'm not saying I did, but I've heard so many stories of a parent using their child's social security number to power on. You know, I'm pretty sure a lot of them did it for justifiable reasons, for the right reason, but there are a lot of parents that didn't do it for the right reasons because of the survival energy that they were put in and had to exist in. You know, pool in there too, but at the end of the day, you have to take accountability simply because of self control. You have to take that self control, and that's another thing. Eating healthier food helps you with addictions. Any addictions. It is so much. When I found out I can get a high from a piece of garlic, call me garlic woman. You don't have to be around me because I don't give a damn. That natural high, oh my God. I'd rather have a natural high than a high off of the drug, honestly. Especially if I can, you know, develop well beings for my children and myself. Like, what the fuck? You know, give me the options. I had to find the options, mind you. So I've experienced the going from eating a poor diet to eating a better diet. I always had a lot of self control, so I never had to struggle with an addiction. My addiction was love. That's you know, you find out not everybody has that type of love, and you just gotta love yourself and love your children and teach them to love themselves and not look externally for that validation. Build up their self confidence and their self awareness so nobody can tear them down. Because when you look outside of yourself for validation, is when the major problem comes in. And a lot of people that were trying to keep up with the Joneses and false flex and all that other shit, 9 times 10 out of 10 were the ones with secret addictions, whether it be from sex, drugs, or liquor, or whatever their fetish was. You know, keeping up with the Joneses phase is an addiction itself. Keeping up that mask. Because eventually that mask is going to fall off. And that's when it's going to, a lot of people can't take that fall. That's why changing your diet will help with all those emotional balances. And then sometimes you just gotta, you know what I'm saying, man up in some type of way and take it on the chin like, I did that. That's not gonna be me no more. And I'm okay with, you know what I mean, being a better person now and today. No matter what anybody says against you. And I can tell you that right now. Like I said, these people trying to put the jacket on me as of mental health illness is been a gas. It's very insulting. It's very insulting, especially when your intelligence is far elevated than the person is telling you, and or just a group of people that, oh, this said person has mental health issues. And when you prove them all wrong, it's the best part of it. You have to grab that shit and put it in the chokehold and hold on to it. You know, you hold on to that and then you let it go too and release. Because when you're manifesting, you want to set it and you want to forget it, but still take the actions and the steps that prove to where the goal that you're trying to reach is always with you, not in your grasp, always with you. This means, like, for me, it was a given that I really didn't just want to, fuck with nobody. I didn't want to hang out. I didn't want to go out. None of that. Hanging out, going to the bar. Fuck that shit. Whether it would be with an old lady or not, just like, you know what I'm saying? Just, I'm good. Because the energies that dwell in those places, even though you don't have malice intention, they still exist. Because I understood that no matter if I didn't go out or not, I'm still going to end up having an interaction with these outside of me and inside of me, because they are a reflection of me. But to better address it, because when you put less stress on yourself and you're not trying to hang out and you're not trying to, keep up with the Joneses, you're not trying to appear somewhere, and which that wasn't my goal of going out. It was just like, that was kind of like my social interaction. But it's like, it's not the best development for me getting my children back, for me potentially not getting caught up in being around some shit that can potentially happen, right? So you put yourself in a better environment. What that looks like for me is going home and going to the store and, from point A to point B, whatever I got to do, and home. Because, things can happen. You're going to have experiences either way, though. Like, God is going to let you be tested, without a doubt. God is going to let you be tested. It's a part of building yourself, building that endurance of patience. And it's going to suck. It's going to suck sometimes. And you're going to be like, sometimes, I want to slap you. Ooh, I want to punch you. Ooh. What's your thought process? Like, why can't you just, have a chill, resolve, and a thought process to how this situation doesn't have to be hostile in any type of way, verbally, physically, emotionally. Can we go through that process instead of just jumping from 0 to 100? Can we? Please and thank you. But, we have to be the example of that. And it's not always so easy, but it will make you stronger. And like I said again, with changing your diet helps you. See, it's like it's like being in the background and watching the shit go down, but you're in it. But you just, you're just trying to guide the energy. Hey, your your home is this way. It's not over here with me. And it becomes easier and easier. But it comes with not being so popular. What the hell is popular anyway? It's like, what makes you popular? It should really be the truth. But a lot of people hide behind what looks like the truth. They don't like the not so popular person because that person really 10 out of 10 don't give a fuck. No fucks given. They care, but they can care with no fucks. They don't have to tear you down. They gonna point some shit out, but they don't have to completely demolish and destroy you. And it's like, what energy would I rather exist in and coexist in, or, have in its own place and me be in my own space? Would be someone to their own healing. Now, someone that can go into their own healing and not be like a wrecking ball is one of the best things that can ever happen to you. But sometimes though, and let God take care of the wrecking ball people. You feel me? Let God take care of them. Let your ancestors take care of them. That's the best thing to do. Because they'll be able to reflect on it. God is going to give them a message. Let them see a flash of where they fucked up at. And they'll be okay. They're going to remember, oh, this is what I did, and that's why God is. Don't you do that. Don't you do it again. You need to change something in your life. You need to react better. You got to give them that good old tap on the hand, or tap on the ass, or crash out completely. It depends on what you built your karma to be, right? So, henceforth, the promotional growth of healing. And I knew about 8 years ago. I said, oh, this is not going to be good. You can't depend on care. Anyways, that's an illusion. You have to put the health and the work in for yourself. You have to be in control of your reality, because simply put, somebody comes along like what's going on right now. Oh, fuck healthcare. Oh my God, I need healthcare. Okay, for some people that do, yes, without a doubt. Okay, good. But you don't have to even get to that point to where it's that severe. You know what I mean? That's the whole point. I said, let me take this power into my control. If I can eat better, I can stay hydrated, and I can do better, and I can manifest even faster. And even though it's taken years, a lot of people don't have patience, and that's okay. I took my power back. Like a lot of people tripping the hell out, bugging out. Oh my God. People that really don't even need healthcare, they just want to go get a checkup. You know what I mean? Or whatever it may be. Like basic, necessity things that they can really fix on their own. They don't need a doctor for. This is what I'm referring to. Don't let it get so bad to where you have an ailment that they have caused because of the food that they're giving you. The hell was that? So, this is the point. I took back my power years back. I already seen this coming. So, am I spazzing out over Disney Plus? Hell no. Am I spazzing out over McDonald's? Hell to the no. Meaning, my protest been started. As soon as I recognize my protest been started long ago. You know what I mean? When you get ahead, see, look, they was calling me the tortoise. That's okay. That was fine. I don't care. That doesn't bother me. I put myself in the lead though. Just like so many others before me, and so many people are going to find out now. What can I change? What can I do within my power to change my life? Because why are you putting your life in the hands of other people like that anyway? And that's how I look at it. Ooh, shit. Why am I giving these people my power? Oh no. I need to change me. I need to change my environment. I need to change what I put in my body. If all these sugars and things like that are causing cancer and swelling of the ankles and the joint pain, and it's too much to handle. And I'm telling y'all this because I actually lived this life. There was a point where I had to lay in bed just to play with my babies. Like, I had to slide, you know what I'm saying, scoot across the floor and clean up that way. There was times when my back had locked up and I couldn't go get my children from school. And it's like, hell no. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, something got to change. So more things need to change. Let me keep searching. So I did. Self-determination, I'm telling you, 2011 to 2010, 2011, 2013, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, to date. Changed my life. I changed my life. I took control. I recognized the lies and I changed my life. So you won't see me spaz down over, we need to boycott. I've been boycotting. And that's why you will find out doctors will not like you, other so-called normal people, and there's no such thing as normal. They won't like you, and that's okay. They don't even like themselves. So understand it the feeling is mutual. When they don't like themselves, they're not going to be in a good energy. And they don't know how to guide you to a good energy. So when you take back your power, you will be in such a chaos and disarray. Thanks to the people that took the mountain and put it on their back, on their big backs, okay? Took it and put it on their big backs to show, hey, you can accomplish and overcome these goals, these obstacles. You can do it. Like Waterboy. You can do it. You can do it. So there's nothing that we can't do. There's nothing that we can't heal. And sometimes people, it's just their time. Only God decides when we go and when we come, and some other people, they jump in. But we can recognize that too in good health and energy. And that's what we need to recognize. These illusions and these lies, and build on our health and wellness. Your health is your wealth. Anybody that built off of a faulty foundation, They is about to find out real quick just how fast they can fall. All right? Y'all be great. Love, peace, wellness, and abundance. Self reflect. Give yourself those words of affirmations every day. Teach your children every day. Say them to your children every day. Make sure they learn to take some time to put into their self love and their self care throughout the day. I had a schedule, and I still will make a schedule, but that is a priority to take time out for you. What do you want to do as far as self care? What do you want to do in this hour, 30 minutes, 2 hours, 3 hours? Because you worked so hard to do all the mundane things. Make sure you take time for yourself, take time for your children. It's necessary. Teach them that it is necessary to have that self love, self care. It's necessary. Y'all be great. Love thyselfy, right? And I will see you guys next time. Thank you for tuning in. And never give up. Pass on that message. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. Be great.